Hello, it's the MIPBlog team. This is the last time we'll be talking to you like this. I'm sorry, it's bad news, isn't it? But it's a good one. It's a good one because we've wrapped up our biggest trends of the market, and Angela and Stuart have been thinking long and hard about this, but they're ready now. So, Angela, what was your biggest trend of these past 5 days of MIP TV, MIP Cube, and all the rest?
The biggest and most reassuring trend is kind of the maturity with which trans media and new media are being treated. Hackers on a Boat was something that would have been completely, I don't think it would have been welcomed or understood at all just last year, for example. And there was also Erwin Schmidt, who gave this amazing talk about 3D. Usually 3D talks tend to be, they're really hyperbolic. They talk a lot about this geeky, stupid technology that's going to sort of overthrow all the rest. And I liked that he admitted that the hype of 3D was past its prime and that it wasn't going to eclipse 2D at all, but that in the same way that it adds to your depth perception, it also adds an emotional depth to film that you can use. And the television should be experimenting more with this element of it. So,
and that Peanut film he did.
The Peanut was gorgeous with Wim Wenders.
Wim Wenders was amazing, and now they're doing more and more stuff like that, which is great.
Their new film is called Everything's Going to Be Fine.
And there's a thing about cathedrals as well.
Yeah, Cathedrals of Culture is a mini-series that he's doing in partnership with Alptic.
Great, so lots of, it's new media, but it's getting established now, and it's great to see.
Yeah,
but
there's
there was
more
still
polyvalence.
Disruption with Hack Day, and the thing that came out of that made the biggest buzz out of that was what Sid Lawrence said about TV data being rubbish, basically.
That was amazing that he said that. For the Hack Day, people actually, Sid Lawrence couldn't produce the application that he wanted because the data that was available online was so poorly organized. And this was kind of a big lesson for producers as well, to see the way that their data appears on the internet. It's not consistent in any way. It's sort of ugly and impossible to manage. And it is true, nobody really pays attention to that. So.
Yeah, so that means that, and in music you can tell at any time what someone is listening to on Spotify.
Yeah, because you have albums, songs, track lists, it's all very clearly denoted. But for TV, like, trying to find an episode is just like...
But you were saying even the listings of what's on are paid for service, aren't they? You have to pay to publish them. And that means you can't have all these developers hacking about the listings to make innovative things to find and substitutes. It's kind of a... I think it was him saying that was quite good, because it might make people think about it by next year. Maybe there were some changes.
What about you, Stuart? What was your big trend?
It's probably social TV and second screen apps. And it's a weird one because there still are people who get up on a conference stage and their basic insight is a lot of people are on Twitter and a lot of people have apps. And it's kind of that initial wide-eyed thing. And then a lot of people kept banging on about how we used to talk about TV around the water cooler and now we do it on Twitter. And that's quite a basic sort of thing now, I think.
Yeah, we need to move on from that.
But two ways it was moving on, or two ways discussion moving on. So one way was people talking about how broadcasters and producers can start getting involved in Twitter buzz around shows. Like, how can they start not controlling it, not taking it away from those sites, but how can they start encouraging it? So there was Fox News who was saying people to kind of tweet during a break if something's lying on. And then today it was saying about there was a debate when Yahoo's Into Now app was used for the Republican primary. And at one point, the presenter stopped it and said, "Look, 72% of our Into Now users think you don't believe what you're saying." So that idea of how can they not control the debate, but how can they kind of push out questions and get them back and analyse it. So that was good. But then today there was a really thing. I went to the legal session on kind of legal problems with the current digital.
Which is
a kind of a hugely long, wide range. But one of the things that came out of that was second screen apps. And the question of, if you've got a show, say X times Z, is the broadcaster making the second screen app or is the producer? And who's selling the ads in it? Who's doing the sponsorship? And they reckon that's going to be quite a big battle over its exciting place. Because I think if you're the broadcaster, you want to have the app. And you want to maybe tie it to your advertising that's running around the show. But if you're the producer, you might want to get sponsors on board sales. So I think that might be quite a nice fun source of argument really now. There's always like everyone's like who owns the user. It's always silly because you own.
That's so crazy because I was at a session today where it was so like inverted. I'm going to say this. I'm totally going to say this. So the people at the session were talking about how broadcasters in this new and changing world have to get used to the fact that they're no longer renting audiences. They now own them, so they have to take care of them.
Yeah.
And it was like I think that entire way of thinking about it is wrong. Like the problem is now that they don't own audiences. They don't control anybody. They have to work very hard to sort of cater to them, to find them, and to please them, and
audience
to earn their fidelity. Exactly. But no, they're still talking about this idea of ownership. Like now they've managed to make it so that it's stronger than before.
What's the question on YouTube was a big thing as well. Like people were saying there that YouTube's now about having a channel with subscribers rather than a video and viewers.
Yeah.
And so it was. YouTube said that, I think. YouTube said that we're not video about channels now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then today there was another session about audience building and the fact that you want to get people from loyal to you rather than just kind of pulling them in and they see something to go away. And so like you say, those guys are thinking about that. We've got to have an audience, not just we've got to have stuff online.
Which is weird because how can you talk about audience and conversation at the same time? It just seems like they're at cross purposes.
But I think what's going on.
Exactly.
I think what's going on is that they've worked out a while ago how to make a buzz and a one-off thing, and now it's talking about how do you keep people locked in for the long run and not just do one-offs.
Yeah. Well, the AMC guy, his big point I think was that you can actually still do that with just a TV show.
Yeah.
If you make it a marvelous TV show.
Yeah.
You make it like, and he was saying like it's got to matter, people are going to care about it. And in a way that was kind of saying you can do Wizzy Fish and you can do Wizzy Digitals around it, but actually it comes back to it's your story great. And then there's some of the YouTube stuff, people are saying what takes up there is the stories. And the story there might be a person you like talking about stuff. It's not like a drama. So that came through that kind of, it's got to be, you have to care about it enough to become a loyal.
To be exceptional.
Yeah, to watch it lots and to want to converse with you. But
so
then
basically the Apple of TV shows with that level of rigor behind it.
But you have to be loyal to them, I think, came through as well. You have to be like put the effort in responding to their comments and taking feedback, and it's not one way thing.
And I think AMC figured that out as well, because you remember a few years ago when they first started Mad Men, they had all of those characters show up, the fictional characters, and they tried to shut them down for a while, and then well, now they're okay with it, fine with it.
Yeah, I think you realise it.
Yeah.
So it's all about buzzword engagement, isn't it? Or no, maybe it's a MIP where the people have gone beyond the sort of
I think
got to do the new thing, and now they're
trying to grapple with communication.
I think it's quite a positive thing about TV being great. I mean, people, and whether that is something like Breaking Bad or Mad Men, we'll get really engaged in the plots and the characters. Or whether it's something like X Factor, where they're still engaging the people, but they're also wanting to share and vote and talk about it. And it just makes you realise that actually this stuff, it isn't just this box in the corner room that's getting shunted out by other forms of interactivity and stuff. TV does still matter, but there's kind of people who are going to get it, how things have changed, and you can't just assume these things. You have to engage this new way. That's the best way, isn't it? That's good.
Yeah, good buzzword. Right, thanks very much. See you next time.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, we have to dance.
Oh, yeah.
Stuart, dance. Stuart, dance.
I'm embarrassed for
Stuart.
Bye.